Hello, welcome to Footy Corner TV. I'm Sparks. Welcome to the show. We're kind of doing a merged show because we didn't do a show on Tuesday. So we're going to go over the Champions League games as well. But we're not going to stay around too long, so we won't bore you too long. Tamim won't bore you at all because he keeps ditching out. So hopefully he gets a signal before long. We've got Dom. How are we, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all, mate. Not too bad. It's.
We were all happy after Tuesday, weren't we?
I was happy after the weekend and Tuesday. Yes, yes. I was sat in the posh seats and I got told to shut up, which I told them to swiftly go away.
I'm assuming you use slightly different language.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I certainly did. Yes, and I didn't wear a tie to that either.
You guys didn't get the memo.
Yeah, well, we don't have to, behind closed doors, so it doesn't really matter. Daniel, welcome in, sir. How are we?
I'm good, mate. Thanks for having us on, Sparks. Top of the league, beating Athletic 4-0. What could be wrong with the universe?
No, well, I think Tommy has done something to upset the universe, but to me, it is a Liverpool fan. So this is what he's done to upset the universe. His internet is absolutely a bit of freak out, but there you go. But yes, guys, if you're joining us on the YouTube, please make sure you're hitting the like, subscribe, and everything, and sharing it out and all that cool stuff. And if you're on the Twitter channel, come through to the YouTube, hit the like. You can go back to Twitter if you really want to. We just get the likes up and everything. To me, are you with us now? What's going on?
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. My internet's terrible, so I've just moved back in the lounge, and hopefully that will stay. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But I'm sorry, guys. Yeah,
I'm right by the window, trying to get the signal.
By the window.
I was going to say, how far away is it? You sound out of breath.
Yeah, I state my fitness these days.
Don't all live in mansions, but yeah. How are we doing, Tamim? How are we, sir?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Thank you for having me on. But I say I'm good. Not after recent weeks and games, but as well as I can be. Yeah.
Go on then. We'll start with you. I mean, why not? We'll start right there. Not been the greatest of a couple of weeks, really, has it? So
no.
Yeah, how are we feeling?
It's been a tough few weeks, as he said. I think there's a few things, I guess, to go over. It's obviously not great. I think things will be okay in the end. I think there's a few factors as to why we're not doing as well as we could be. I think Slot has a lot to figure out with what's our best starting 11, what's our best midfield, what's even our best attack as well with the options that we have. And I think it's easy for me to say, but I don't feel like the players are playing in the right positions. I think yesterday was a glimpse as to what should be our best 11, but I think that's the biggest factor. I think the players are gelling, the partnerships are forming, the new players are trying to bed in. Wirtz hasn't obviously had a great start, although he played pretty well yesterday, but he's still finding his feet in the Premier League. Isak as well, possibly, not at his best currently. Again, I think that's possibly due to new changes scenery, not having a pre-season, and Salah's obviously not at his best either. That there's possibly a clear decline there. Every season I'm thinking, is this a season Salah declines? And I've been sort of asking that question the last 3 or 4 seasons even. But this season seems like it's it has father time hit him now. Yeah, possibly. I think there's a lot to figure out with Salah. But we can't just drop Salah. He's a club legend for us, and he's given us a lot of amazing memories. So we need to figure out what's going on with Salah. Whether we need to look at rotating him, or if he will come into form and he will show that he's still in his prime. But yeah, there's that factor as well. And I think the biggest issue which I'm concerned about this season is our defense. There's clearly issues there with our defense. We're conceding way too many goals. Against Man United, we looked so easy to sort of be run at. They had a few chances. I think we should have scored more. And second half we played pretty well, but that first half we were terrible, and that's been the case for many of the games this season, defense wise. Anyway, yeah. So while I'm pretty confident that the attack will click, and I think Slot will figure out what the first 11 should be. The bit that, as I said, that concerns me is, will the defense be sorted? Because there's a bit of a personnel issue. Van Dijk's getting a bit older. Konate hasn't looked at his best. Not sure what's going on there. Whether it's injury thing or maybe he's just not a world-class defender, but he's been class.
He's checked out.
He's what? Sorry, yeah, checked out. Yeah. There's
out.
Exactly. There is that as well, isn't there, with the whole Madrid rumours. So
there is Max as well, isn't there? So it's you've offered him another contract anyway, haven't you? So,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's the defense situation which does worry me slightly, and I feel like we're not buying a centre back might bite us in the arse. Yeah, I think that will.
Do you think you got the right fullbacks? Do you think you got the right guys in those positions as well? Because obviously Kirkes isn't. He hasn't hit the ground running, and Frimpong, is he even a back at all? He's more like a winger than an actual defender.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I think you are right on Frimpong for sure. Yeah, he played pretty well when he came on. I think it was against Man United, and the game before he came on in the right wing position, and he did pretty well there. He clearly, as you said, he seems like a very attacking fullback, or is he even a fullback, as you sort of said. He played pretty well in the attacking positions, but defensively he's been suspect. We've conceded a couple of goals on that side, so I'm not fully sold on him yet. I do really like Bradley, and I'd actually like to see more of Bradley. I was sort of harping on about him the last few seasons. I think defensively he's always been pretty solid. Not had the attacking threat that Trent had. Didn't have the passing range, didn't have the creativity, but as a traditional right back, I think Bradley is brilliant. So I hope we see more of him. Kirkes, he's not, as you said, he's not settled in pretty well so far. He's had good moments. I think he did okay against Madueke. I thought against you guys. Madueke put him under a lot of pressure, and he did beat him a couple of times. But I think he did pretty well against a fast, skillful winger like Madueke. But yeah, I don't know if there's as you said, whether the right fullbacks for us, because Kirkes likes to sort of really bomb forward as well. He's pretty similar to Frimpong, where his crosses and his attacking sort of threat is like his, that's the sort of traits he's known for. But he's playing Kirkes almost like a third centre back, which in that case, I don't know if that's the right person for that sort of role. So yeah, hard to tell if it's the right fullback signings, but so far it's not seeming to be. Yeah.
And where are you at the moment with the league position? Do you think you're still favourites for the league? Do you think you still do it? Where do you think you are there?
So I think the favourites for the league are you guys. I think Arsenal are the favourites for the league right now. I think you're a well-oiled machine. You've been a very good team for a couple of seasons now, and you've added squad depth. You fixed a weakness of yours, which was the striker position. I'm pretty worried that you guys will possibly run away with this. I'm confident in our team in terms of mounting a title challenge, but I wouldn't put us right now. Certainly, I wouldn't put us as favourites for the title, and possibly tied or even possibly below Man City as favourites. In the running for favourites. So yeah, I'm confident of the title challenge. As I said, I think a lot will come together. There's signs of our attack coming together, and we've had good games despite the recent misery. We played decent against Atletico, and I know a lot's been made about the sort of 90th minute winners in our first few games, but I thought we did pretty well on most of those games. And it's the fact that we scored those winners in the 90th minute that makes it look like, oh, you guys are lucky, 90th minute, etc. But if those goals had come earlier in those 90 minutes, then the topic wouldn't be last minute winners. I think we did well against
that was the point that many people made, including myself, actually, that because they're so late on in the game, there's nobody can answer them, and it's unsustainable basically. So it's kind of you're not looking out, but you're getting over the line at the very last kind of hurdle, and it's not as if you haven't been making chances, is it? It's just that your players just basically haven't been finishing them off really, which was kind of the point that we're making. But you make yourselves third favourites now.
Tied with City, I'd say. Tied with City.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a bit. I still think it's early days to be writing Liverpool off as not the favourites, to be honest. I think you still had a really good window. All right, you've dropped points early. But everybody goes through a dip. So I think that it's always how you recover from the dip rather than having the dip itself, because everybody's going to have a dip at some point, and hopefully it continues, but that's just on a personal bias basis than anything else, really.
I think three of us on this call think the same, but
absolutely. So it's nice to see somebody else, another team struggle. But Dom, what do you make of the manager's comments when he's come out in press conferences and such, like from that point of view? Do you think he's kind of starting to crack under pressure, or do you just think he's sending subliminal messages out?
I mean, I think there is obviously pressure when you're the manager of any top team and you're in a dip, because the fan base is going to be on you, the media is going to be on you. And yourself that you need to win trophies and do really well. And it's always horrible. And he's not experienced it at Liverpool. So I think obviously that was sort of a new experience for him. And it's a much bigger spotlight than he's been under before. So I think he probably did find that difficult. I also just think that he's generally quite an abrasive manager in terms of with the media, but I don't think that necessarily means that just because he's abrasive in those answers means that he's sort of cracking or anything like that. You just notice it more and get picked up on more when the team isn't doing so well. I think obviously he is, he is finding that pressure difficult, and I think that's understandable. I think some of the comments were sort of deliberate. They were sort of designed to put a little bit of pressure on Mikel Arteta, but that's nothing new. Mind games have existed for years. Alex Ferguson used to do it. Others used to do it, so it's nothing new. And I don't think they will work, right? I don't think Mikel Arteta will be bothered in the slightest. If anything, he'll use it to sort of incentivize his players. He tends to sort of do that. You'd sort of look at previous comments he sort of used in team talks on that horrid documentary that I didn't enjoy in any way, shape or form. But you looked at him use comments from previous players and managers and opponents to sort of spur the team on. So I think it would probably have had the opposite effect. But I don't think he necessarily was using them to sort of go focus on. He was trying to deflect attention away, and that's understandable. It's what you should be doing in that situation. So I don't read too much into them. And I think he's still a very
He's
good
just
manager.
been a Dutch manager, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, well, he's just been. I mean, generally speaking, Dutch managers, and I'm being very stereotypical here. There will be exceptions to the rule, but they're generally slightly more abrasive, more direct in their answering the questions. Culturally, it is a sort of a culturally sort of Dutch thing to do. No, exactly, no nonsense. But I don't think it necessarily means he's under pressure because of the way he's answering it any more than he would be in that situation. I don't think he's cracking, and I think he was attempting to play some mind games. I don't think they work, but fair enough. But like you, I don't think Liverpool are out of this title race, and by any stretch of imagination. I agree entirely. with you. What I think he does need to do, and I'd be interested in Tammins' view on this, would be how does he sort of go about readdressing the balance? You know, I don't think we could necessarily see if that balance was there against Frankfurt last night because the quality difference was quite significant.
Did you see the high line they were playing as well?
Yeah,
It was like that they were playing inside.
Ange ball.
Yeah.
It was worse than that. They were inside Liverpool half, and it's just
my
like,
favourite was when they put their arm out for offside in their
own half. Are you just
Liverpool
like, what are you doing?
But yeah,
Top 5 players as well. What the hell is he doing?
But you know, so I don't think that you can sort of read too much into that. But I'd be interested in Tam, in your views in terms of how he finds a balance, because like you, I would have made Liverpool title favourites in after the window had they signed Mark Gehi and or a CDM instead of Isak. I always thought that was a more sensible thing to do when you looked at the balance. I made Arsenal favourites because I felt the balance in that squad was there as a result of them not getting that. But what do you think it is? Because I think you actually got it almost spot on in terms of balance when you played us, funny enough, at Anfield. I thought you really got the balance really well, but I've not necessarily seen it since. So I wonder what your view was on that as a Liverpool fan, because that's my outside perspective. But you
and is dropping Salah the answer, because it ruffled a lot of feathers last night. Or his feathers definitely ruffled as well, Tamim.
Yeah. Yeah, my thoughts on the balance thing is, I fully agree with you. I think in the Arsenal game, I think the team selection was great. We seemed like, very, very cautious with our play. We weren't sort of going full throttle attack, which is one of the things that did worry me. And that was what sort of Slot said to Carragher after, I think it was the Bournemouth game? It was one of the early games where Carragher sort of brought up post-match. There's very, a lot of attacking play here, but we seem to be sort of giving up a lot of chances in defence. Is that something we need to sort of be addressing? And Slot seemed to sort of brush it off, saying, "Is this not the type of football you want to see? Pure entertainment, full on attacking."
You not entertained?
I thought Carragher wanted to see long throws and set pieces.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need to do.
The irony of you scoring 2 from set pieces last night was not lost on me.
Absolutely. Priceless. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
After complaining about it as well.
It was just genius.
I think he did say in one interview he thinks set pieces are the answer to a lot of the low blocks. So I think there is going to be, not to Arsenal's level, but there's going to be some work there. I think there will be. But I think the balance is there, and that's what the balance is there to be made, and it's not been there in a lot of the games, especially the last sort of 5 or 6 games. But that's what doesn't worry me too much, because I think if he gets it right, we're looking good. Like yesterday, as you said, it's not a great representation of whether we're on the upturn or not. But the few games before that, so like the Arsenal game, that was a great performance, I thought, and a great balance of defense and attack. I think the Atletico game was pretty solid as well in showing that as well. Although, we did give up a 2-0 lead, and it was 2-2, then 3-2, 90th minute winner again. But in terms of running theme, but
anybody think it was unsustainable?
That was our nickname last year as well, I think it was. But this year, and even the year before, actually, with Klopp, we were pretty unsustainable with some of that sort of stuff. But I think the Atletico game, we played really well. Like XG was high, and I know XG is not the be-all, end-all, but in terms of chances created, shots on target, we blew Atletico out of the water. Like, it should not have been 2-2. At 2-0 up, we probably should have been 3 or 4-0. Like, there was a few, again, finishing issues. Game? Yeah. What's that, sorry?
You mean like our game?
Like, Liverpool Arsenal game?
No.
Liverpool, Arsenal, Liverpool.
Oh, exactly.
Like that.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys, you did well with the chances, and you stepped up like pretty amazingly after sort of the second half. So like your game where you were pretty ruthless with your chances. We should have been
first half as well.
Yeah. First half was tight, wasn't it? But I think the balance is there to be had. I feel like some of that is playing Szoboszlai in the 8th position in the double pivot with Gravenberch. I think anytime we've done that, we've looked brilliant. Like yesterday, again, not the best opposition, but Szoboszlai has been possibly our best player this season, not just in central midfield, but right back on the wing. He's been
playing him at right back. He's kind of defeating his object. It's kind of, he's there to kind of mediate the midfield a little bit and kind of slow it down and be a kind of I don't know,
tempo setter, right? Sparks
is what?
Like a bit of a tempo setter.
Yeah, it's just a controller, I guess. It's just to kind of gel it together and not leave the gulf of space that you'd left in the Man United game was just ridiculous. It was like I explained it the formation to somebody as a 4-1 ... 4-1.
Yeah,
it's like just a big gulf in the middle. It's like, I tried to find a tumbleweed thing, but it was like, I couldn't find anything. So but yeah, it was just a bit odd. You've gone from being so not compact but progressive, I guess, to Man United.
Yeah,
right? That's how Man United played, specifically last season. This season they've been a bit more controlled and a bit more. They've closed that gap in midfield, but you could have those rings that people were drawing on the internet. People were doing that with Man United last season.
Yeah,
and it was like, well, you've seen this. This looks like a really good idea. I'm not quite sure how he thought that was a good idea, but it seemed to upset the apple cart a little bit. But I don't really understand why he did it.
I think it's also a personnel thing. I think he tried to play McAllister in the pivot with Gravenberch, but McAllister's not been at the races this season. Not sure what the issues are there, whether there's an underlying injury issues or health issues, but he's not been very good in that defensive midfield position. But whenever we played Szoboszlai next to Gravenberch, we've looked much more solid. So I don't know what went on in that midfield on the Man United game, whether, like you said, it's Slot playing that way and forgetting about it, or whether we just could not control the midfield.
What's happened to Endo? Like, I saw a lot of Liverpool fans kind of slating him.
Who's Endo?
Getting quite a lot of praise.
Yeah, he's the one that comes on to see out a game, but because you don't score until the 92nd minute, you can't bring a guy on to close the game out.
There's
because
no seeing out the game.
You've only just closed the game.
Come on for the last kick,
But exactly. So you're not bringing somebody on to basically take a bit of time to take some pressure off, because the pressure's still there. And it kind of turned into a bit of a tennis match, didn't it?
Is he not good enough to start alongside Gravenberch in a bit of a double pivot?
I thought at one point, not this season certainly, but I think in this first season, I really liked Endo. I thought as a defensive midfielder, like tackles, reading the game, winning duels, he's brilliant at that. But the issues lie where it's his passing ability, his the ball progression, etc. That which is what Slot would want from a player next to Gravenberch or any midfielder even. So I think that's I like Endo, and he has his place in the squad, but not as a starter.
He's a useful player, right, in the squad, because he does give you that something different, as sort of Sparks alluded to there, seeing out games. I think it's an important role. So it's similar to sort of Christian Norgard. He can sort of come in as well for those.
It reminds me of Coquelin, though.
Yeah, he's slightly different players than Norgard, but but he comes in, he'll give you a 6, 7 out of 10, for that, give your players a rest in those easier games, And I think if that's his sort of understanding of where he is in the sort of squad and the pecking order, I think that kind of makes sense. But I wonder though, do you reckon he might be a useful asset for you in sort of starting the odd big game just to give you that balance, or do you think that balance is provided by Gravenberch if fit?
I think the balance would be there with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. I'd really want to see those two in the middle against like Man City or any of the top sort of Champions League teams. Yeah, I really would like to see that. I think that would be enough. I think it's a fair shout. I think Gravenberch and Endo together. I feel like we'd get dominated, but defensively we'd be much more stable for sure. Because Endo's great again at winning duels. Gravenberch would feel more comfortable with the partner alongside him that's like that as well. Against a top team, I feel like we'd possession-wise we wouldn't be dominating, but we'd be defensively much more stable for sure. And he can play a pass. He's not terrible at sort of passing. Like Endo has a few, there's been a few sort of times I've seen him play a good long pass, but I think it's just not enough. And in terms of close control, short passes, he'd prefer like a Szoboszlai McAllister rather than an Endo.
Yeah.
It would allow your wingers to get up though, because obviously then you've got your 4 in defence that kind of, one can drop in between the 2 centre backs and like spray. And then you've got the cover of Gravenberch on top.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was wondering. Get your fullback forward, but also could you have could you have a sort of 10, a Szoboszlai or Wirtz in the sort of 10 role, just to sort of get you attacking that way because you've got that base behind. That's what was sort of prompting my question, similar to what Sparks was thinking.
Yeah. No, there's a fair shout, and it's almost like the Klopp days. That would be like a Klopp type. Apart from the 10, but like having Endo, Gravenberch, like a Fabinho, Henderson sort of midfield and the fullbacks bombing forward, that would be like our Klopp team sort of 5 years ago. But although the difference is I suppose Klopp would have 3 of those type of midfielders rather than a 10 in Wirtz and a McAllister. But that's a pretty interesting thought. It really is. I could see it working. Yeah, for sure. And it would play to Kerkez's strengths, to Frimpong's strengths. Bradley could play there, but I'd rather Frimpong in that sort of situation. Yeah, I think there's a lot to sort of think about, a lot to tinker with. Again, like I said, I personally think Gravenberch and Szoboszlai is the midfield 2. I think they're the best midfield 2. I've always thought that McAllister was not like he is not suited to that sort of pivot role, in my opinion. Even last season, where he did play there, and we also were winning the title and stuff. But there's a lot of games where we did sort of we got dominated by PSG, and that was with McAllister and McAllister and Gravenberch in the middle too. And even a lot of the other sort of scruffy games where we sort of maybe just about won and we didn't look convincing, I've always felt McAllister looked better further upfield. Where he's able to thread those sort of passes and take a long shot, which he's good at. But physically trying to dominate midfield, and McAllister's not been great at doing that. But then trying to play McAllister upfield, that's Wirtz's position, isn't it? So a bit of competition there. A bit of a tough one because I do like McAllister. I do like him, but Wirtz is a big money signing, so he's got to be the one that starts in the 10 position. So yeah.
Did you need Wirtz then?
I think we needed a 10, especially with Harvey Elliott looking to sort of make his move because it was clear that he wasn't in Slot's plans for the first 11. In theory, you could say that Elliott and McAllister for the 10 position, that should be enough for competition-wise and depth-wise. But I think where Elliott wanted to leave for first-team football, we needed a 10. So, I'd say we probably did need Wirtz,
Future planning as well, isn't it, for post-Salah?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he started in the Salah position, didn't he, last night? If I've got my days right. It was last night. Right? It's Thursday today,
It's Thursday,
Thursday today,
It was last night, yes. Yeah, I watched that game, man. It's just like, for somebody that doesn't like long balls and he doesn't like the ball being up in the air and he doesn't like set pieces, he made a very good impression of somebody that liked them. That ball that he put through for Ekitike was basically just a smash and grab ball straight through the lines. And obviously the 2 set pieces, was it VVD and Kanate? And the other 2 goals were a bit, well, they looked a bit weird to me, but to be honest with you, I don't really know what happened in the build-up for it to even get to them, to be honest. It kind of looked like that Frankfurt had it covered and then they just didn't. It was all a bit weird.
It was bad defending from them. It was pretty poor, So I wasn't too, after that game, I wasn't really as happy as I was. I wasn't like, oh yeah, we've suddenly turned a corner. Yeah, for sure. That was not a good representation of whether we have
but when you're gagging for a win, you're gagging for a win, right? It's obviously the last, was it 4 games? So you've obviously got a Champions League game in there. Was it Galatasaray, the other one?
Yeah, Galatasaray. Yeah.
I think you're right, though. I think you'll know more after. Is it Brentford you got on Saturday?
Yeah, Brentford away.
Away, yeah.
They don't do set pieces at all.
Or long throws.
No, that's what I mean. They are the top of the long throws.
Well, they've got a former set piece coach as their manager now.
Yeah.
But they definitely don't employ those kind of tactics. They wouldn't dare.
It'll be like a basketball game, I think.
I mean, what do you make of what Carragher's been saying on Sky that basically set pieces or we're going back in time.
We're in the Premier League.
What do you make of that? I mean,
yeah, I don't agree with that. I think, ultimately, you got to try and win a game, whichever way possible, right? And whether your strengths lie, and it's not just your strengths like that. That's sort of downgrading any team that uses set pieces. But set pieces are part of the game. If you're good at set pieces, if you're drilling them, then of course it's not like you're not going to try and score from a corner, are you? Every corner that goes in. I mean, what are Arsenal or what are Liverpool or any team, what are they meant to do? Are they meant to just not score from a corner?
60% of the goals this season has been from set pieces, Tamim.
50% of our goals.
60%. 60%.
60. Oh, okay. So I can't call Arsenal a set piece team then, can I? But no.
You scored the most in the Champions League. And you managed to lose a game. So you've done quite a few.
Yeah. Hold a few records there. Unwanted records as well.
Yeah, definitely some unwanted ones. Yes, for sure.
But no, I have no... I don't see anything wrong with set pieces. They're part of the game. They're an opportunity to score, just like long shots are an opportunity to score or build-up play or crosses into the box. It's all part of the puzzle, right? And some teams need certain... puzzles, certain ways to break them down. If the right side of the attack isn't working because the opposition team have a strong left back position, then you go a different way. There's so many different ways to attack a team. So I think there's nothing wrong with set piece goals. A goal's a goal at the end of the day.
I loved Gabriel's celebration with the corner flag.
Yeah, that was quality, wasn't it? I've got that saved as well. So I've got a graphic to make out of that.
Brilliant.
But I have a really good idea for it. So there's definitely something in there as well. Daniel, where do you think we are now in terms of the terms of the title race? You think? Do you agree with me that's that we're the favourites? Where do you put it?
I think on paper we are. I think it will be kind of disingenuous to kind of look at that kind of 4-point lead against kind of 2 weakened title rivals in both Liverpool and City. And you look at our run of fixtures, quite winnable on paper. We're doing well. And again, I think Palace is huge for us, really, really huge for us. Again, that was one of those games last season where we dropped points at home. So another thing for Mikel to kind of use as kind of motivation for this Sunday. And again, it's just so interesting that the dynamic of the title race in terms of Liverpool playing first, how will they respond away at Brentford, to us having to respond at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Like it's such an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a change, doesn't it? Because obviously we're normally behind, aren't we? Well, so normally kind of chasing pack, and it's quite interesting now. It's shaping up at the moment. Obviously, it's going to flip round when it gets later on, and the different pressure is going to be different all along, isn't it? But
and that's it. Like we saw with the Newcastle game, that weekend of fixtures, if Liverpool had beaten Palace, it would have been 8 points. And if we had lost to Newcastle, we could have been dead and buried. So just in the space of a weekend, that narrative of the title race can completely flip on its head.
Yeah, I mean, I did say as well with Slot's comments where he was basically going, "Oh, Arsenal scored most of their goals from set pieces and such like," and then he turns around and goes, "And we're only 1 point behind them," and you're like, "You were 5 points in front, mate." At that point, it was a 6 point swing, and the very next game, it's a 9 point swing. That's telling a completely different story to, we lost a couple of games here and there sporadically, rather than you'd lost 3 consecutive games in the league and 1 in the Champions League. That's completely different, isn't it? It's just like, you're not telling the full story there.
It's the mind games, isn't it, that I was talking about earlier?
Yeah, but that kind of thing really annoys me, because that's kind of the thing that's
it's deflection, right? And I was kind of making this point to Cameron before, like how kind of the media perceive Mikel Arteta is kind of what Slot's becoming this season. Now, I'm not calling him an excuse merchant, Tamim. Like, don't get too defensive.
He's got a few, to be fair, though, hasn't
he?
Even in the last couple of weeks, he's had a few excuses.
For sure.
Now, granted, he's not on the level of the grass wasn't wet enough, or it was too dry, or whatever yet. But yeah, you got the rain. You got he did have the wind on one of them. He had the crowd wasn't loud enough on another one.
He was complaining about United's tactics, the fact they changed strikers.
That is madness. That's absolute madness. And he's like, "Oh yeah,
that was pretty bad.
Did you hear the one after the Frankfurt game where he said the reason we haven't been able to play like this before is because everybody's playing the ball in the air and scoring set pieces." You're like, what? So
Sparks does not realise he's playing under 9s football where you're not allowed to kick it over head height.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've seen that the Brentford thing that's basically been doing the rounds, basically saying that they need to prepare. They need to get the team sheet into Slot 48 hours before kickoff, so they can prepare for it.
That would be nice. Yeah.
We'd all love that, In fact, like 2 years ago, you wouldn't need one from Arsenal because we knew what the starting lineup was.
Well, last year we only had 12 fit players, so you knew.
Yeah, so it's just like
Tierney was on the bench, and the other 11 were playing.
They announced it like an hour and 15 minutes before, and you could have had it a week and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I actually genuinely think I got my side prediction right 9 weeks running.
I think I did that actually. Yeah,
something daft.
Maybe not as many as that.
And the irony was, like, Arteta was so cagey about giving anything away.
Yeah, you've got people training outside the complex so that they don't get photographed, and you're like, well, we know it's not going to play. He's not fit. He's not going to play. So yeah.
It's a bit like saying, it's a little bit early this week for Jesus. Like, of course it is. He's not back till Christmas.
Yeah, it was January, wasn't it? And then, and now they've pulled it forward and said he might be back for Christmas.
Mind you, I am looking forward to one day him turning around and saying that Jesus will be back at Easter. Is it 3 days he's out for? Is it?
That would be quite funny. But do you see that Madueke is in training? Yeah, he's actually on grass.
So Jesus and
Havertz
as well.
Havertz as well. I've heard Havertz has been penciled in for.
I heard he was training again, but he's not going to be back until after the next international break.
Yeah.
So I think it was something like that. But then everybody was saying, "Oh yeah, you've got seven games of hell or something," and we've done 2 of them, so we're down to 5. So
I'm not sure we have got 7 games of hell. I think it's a next.
No, it's 7. It was 7 games every 3 days, wasn't it? Every 3 days, whatever it is.
But that's the case for Liverpool. Any team in Europe right now, apart I mean, Manchester United aren't in Europe, and obviously they're at the Carabao Cup, so they've got plenty more time than everyone else. But but it's the same for all of them, and these fixtures are not they're not easy by any stretch, but they're not the hardest run. The runs immediately after the November international break is significantly more difficult.
But that makes it more important for us to not drop points at this stage, or certainly not too many, and kind of build hopefully some kind of lead, and kind of take a points, like 4-point kind of lead into that international break, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's also important then not to rush players back as a result, because if you have got that little bit of let those difficult games coming, well, don't rush them back and get another injury.
I don't think we're not in that position, are we, this year? I think
No.
And I also think as well, if we'd had this squad, not necessarily these players, but the depth in the squad that we had maybe 2 years ago, I think 1 out of the 3 we win.
I think so. I mean, last year I think was a sort of big point for the league in general, because squad sizes are significantly bigger this year. I know everyone sort of said last year Arsenal's squad is the smallest. It wasn't the smallest, because what it didn't do was register 3 players because they didn't need to be registered because of their age.
Yeah.
Whereas Manchester City, for example, had to register Scott Carson because he was their third choice goalkeeper, our third choice.
Man, that guy.
He's just retired.
He's retired. He's retired. He's got more trophies than some.
Has Richard Wright finally hung up his goalie glove? He was on their bench for donkeys, wasn't he?
But he literally gets a trophy every time, and it's just like he's just sat on a bench.
Yeah, doesn't even
not even got the bench.
Yeah, best job in the world.
Literally, yeah.
But that sort of thing. But I think we've seen a real shift in the league right across the top teams go. Last year was a big eye opener, not just with Arsenal. Tottenham, Manchester City, Brighton. This isn't a dig, by the way, Tam, but but it was very interesting to see that the 2 sides that were least affected by injuries last year, Forest massively overachieved, and of course Liverpool did excellently well. I'm taking absolutely nothing away, but it was no surprise to see, the correlation between the sort of 2. And as I say, that's genuinely not to have a dig. Liverpool did, excellently well, deserved the league last year. No cap down, but it has seen that shift. And Liverpool again this year have increased the squad size on last year, numbers wise. As well.
Forest squad last season was one of the biggest squads, wasn't it?
Because but they bought 23 players or something.
Yeah, they literally had players that were going out like this year, so they just replaced them last year. It was just a bit of madness. You're just like, well, throw it at us. It's all fine. Just a bit mental.
Going back to earlier point, Sparks, about if we had a bit more squad depth, I think if we just had Urian Timber, who did ACL on that opening game of the season, I think we would have got the points just by having him. Like, he's been so immense for us over these last few games. He could have made the difference both at left back and at right back.
I do agree with you, but I disagree at the same time, purely because when we started last season, we didn't have any fullbacks. We basically brought in Calafiori. He wasn't really fit. He was switching sides left and right. And then we ended up bringing him back, and he played left back, and we had Partey playing right back. But I think the biggest influence is actually Zubimendi.
Yes.
I just think he's just changed the game for us.
Signing of the summer. Absolute signing of the summer.
I really think that. And it's literally not, it's not that Partey was bad. It's just that when he was doing the same stuff, but he takes 2 or 3 touches more to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas, Zubimendi will take the ball and where Raya does that thing where he kind of rolls the ball back into his box, and it's really annoying, right? Zubimendi kind of does that, but on the move.
Wish he did that in the first half on Tuesday. Oh, Raya.
yeah. That I don't know what he was doing for that. He just kicked the ball out for the throw-in. Yeah, either take both of them and send the ball down there, or just get back in your goal. I don't care which. Don't try half of it, and then he's going to take a quick throw in. Put him on his arse or something. Yeah. But yeah, Zubimendi just kind of does the same thing, but he kind of draws players in without doing anything. It's really weird. He's like a bit of a magnet. He kind of sucks everything in, and then he just does like one little move, and it's gone. But the protection as well from the counter attack when we're really high upfield, and he's either on the edge of the box. He doesn't get sucked into the box. He's literally just on the edge where he scored that volley from a few weeks ago. Just that level of protection so that if that ball springs out, it comes to him. Partey wouldn't be doing that. He'd be like 5 yards back. And then you've got the fullbacks at each side of him because they're a bit quicker and the centre-backs are in the box. So that's a potential for a counter-attack every time. So I think that's a big difference why we're not getting counter-attacked as well. And
Daniel, do you also think Sparks? Do you also think he's made a difference to Odegaard again this season? I know the injury last year probably affected him too, but he's getting the ball quicker, and suddenly he's more effective. I know he's had
the ball comes through the lines quicker, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and it also stops him having to come so deep.
Yeah,
where he was going down to where Zubimendi's at, because Partey's fumbling around with the ball. He doesn't have to come that far. He literally just waits there, sneaks it through, or it goes through to Timber and he plays it through. But I think Timber's benefiting from that as well, because obviously he'd be like more along that side. But now he can just push up because he knows he's got it.
And he has that protection. It's like what we were talking about Liverpool earlier, and this the irony of it, right? Like they almost had Zubimendi in their grasp.
I'm gutted.
And the fans were like, he's exactly the type of player that they need to kind of solidify that midfield. But yes,
I made a comment that he's the type of player every club needs, and I got comments from Chelsea fans basically saying we don't need him. You're like, I don't know what you.
Yeah, I agree.
He can fit into any team.
Him and Caicedo instantly improves that midfield, right? For Chelsea,
of course he does.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so when Lavy is out or whatever, you play Caicedo there, he plays Zubimendi there, whatever.
I think he improves City as well, even though they got Rodri.
I absolutely think he improves City, especially now, because obviously Rodri's, he's struggling to come back, isn't he?
Understandably, yeah. It's what we said this before, Spots, on the show. It's what makes Timber's recovery from that ACL last year
madness,
unbelievable.
When you consider it, when you consider how good he was and how little he suffered when he came back.
And I've heard people saying, "Oh, well, Jesus and Havertz, they should be more like Timber." No, Timber is the anomaly. Like Rodri is something. Those players will suffer and struggle. They will get niggle after niggle after niggle because it's such a significant and long and serious injury. It's one you wouldn't wish on your worst nightmare. But Timber's recovery from it just genuinely astonishing.
Yeah, it is madness, especially when you consider what every other player's gone through. I mean, obviously Jesus is a bit different because he's had 2 of them.
3, isn't it?
Hey,
is it 3 he's had?
Maybe he had one. He might have had one at City as well.
He did his meniscus with us.
It is a meniscus.
He did meniscus with us.
Yeah.
When he went away to the World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if he. I think he had one with them and one with us, and but then another significant injury as well.
Yeah, he had to have that clean-up surgery that Havertz had to clean up that cartilage. So yeah, similar sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird with Havertz as well because he bulks up quite a lot and did all that strength training, and then he ended up with that. So,
but again, it was a contact injury, so he got knocked in the United match. And that was enough. Similar amount of weight.
Yeah,
and Odegaard.
And Odegaard, yeah.
Yeah.
But Odegaard's had a bit of a bad luck this season anyway, hasn't he? Because he'd done his shoulder twice, and then done that. But
and it was such a nothing contact on the knee.
It was nothing, absolutely nothing. But I think on the previous match he was like lifted up and planted on the floor, and he'd done his shoulder, and then I just wonder if he kind of did it on the same thing, and it's just aggravated it when he's actually took the tackle. So it's potentially, I don't know. You know, you never can tell, can you?
What did you guys? Sorry to. I was just going to ask you about Odegaard. What did you guys think of him last season? Like, he was getting a lot of stick for, like, perhaps his numbers, right, in terms of assists and goals. But I think he was pretty unlucky with going back to the point you guys were making with the injury struggles that you had and having a lot of your attackers out, which, you know, as you guys said, played. Like, you know, was quite fortunate for us with our league sort of push. But I think Odegaard suffered from maybe not having Saka there consistently. I've always liked Odegaard. I think he's a class player. Like, his ability to find a pass, etc., his first touch, like, out of the wild. But he got slated a lot last season. Do you think that was pretty warranted, or what are your thoughts on how he was and him going forward this season?
I personally, I think it was completely unjustified, to be honest. I mean, he was off form, granted, just come back from injury. You know, another quite serious injury, to be fair.
Ankle injury, yeah. Injury.
So it wasn't. Andy was playing on it for a little while as well. So that would have inflamed it a little bit more. So I think he was having injections pretty much every game in the run up to him actually going out.
I think what really impacted our right hand side is the fact that Saka was injured as well. So
and Ben White.
And Ben White, exactly. I was just going to say that
whole right side, wasn't it?
That connection and that chemistry, it just wasn't there. And Havertz as well, right? Havertz got injured as well towards the end of last season. So he was trying to like make relationships with players he hadn't really played with before. Granted, like, you know, he is our captain, and some of the criticism, I think, was valid in the sense that you expect a bit more from your number 10, your talisman, sometimes to kind of get your captain through. But yeah, I mean, the cause at the beginning of this season to strip him of the captaincy, I thought was crazy. Like, yeah.
I mean, I agree with you, Daniel. I think that's spot on. I mean, some of the criticism absolutely warranted because he played poorly for a sustained period of time, basically for most of the season. I think the criticism of his form was absolutely fine. I think the over-the-top reaction that because he's the captain, he can't play badly. Well, he's a player like everyone else. He will go through peaks and troughs in form. I think and then there were the mitigating circumstances, which I talk a lot about in terms of last season. I think there were a lot of mitigating circumstances around last season. I won't go into it again, but he was a prime example of it. You spoke about the right-hand side. He had his injuries himself. He was rushed back from because Arsenal had loads of injuries. And I talked about the snowball effect last season, that you get 3-4 injuries and suddenly you've got players playing when you really need to give them rest because you haven't got the available, and that then causes them to get injured and so on and so forth. You know, so he was massively impacted by that. And of course, you know, big change in his life with the family. I can't remember. There was a player. It might well have been a Liverpool player, you know, but there was a player who just come out recently and said, "Yeah, it's, you know, having my first child has completely changed things. It's completely changed my preparation. It's made a massive difference." And he came out and said it. So my view on Odegaard was last season was the anomaly. You know, he's a fantastic player. And I agree with you as well, Daniel, on the captaincy. There are many ways to lead and captain a side. You know, Tony Adams obviously came out, and in his era, everyone was a chest thumping, you know, captain. Everyone was like, the world is slightly different now, not just in football, just in general. And there are various ways to play it. And actually, you know, Rice or Gabriel are going to be those sort of chest thumping, heart on sleeve types of players. You don't need to give them the armband to do that. And Odegaard is clearly respected, you know. So I have no problem with him being captain at all. And, you know, to answer your question, Tam, like the other guys here, I was never overly worried about him long term.
Yeah, and I think a lot of always in this day and age, sort of everyone seems to, well, a lot of football fans seem to just care about just goals and assists, right? It's very much just like stat based, and I know, like, you know, that's important, of course, but like you were saying, Odegaard, you know, contributed in many ways, you know, as a captain, as a leader, leading the press, you know, maybe not giving the final pass, maybe the pass before the pass, you know, a lot of that, you know, you can see in that sort of play. He's a class player. And I did think it was quite unfair, the sort of criticism that he did get last season. ultimately it's a team game, isn't it? It's not just about him scoring or him assisting. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree entirely. And there's also that sort of instant reaction of you haven't played well for 2 games and suddenly you're rubbish,
Yeah.
And that's not just Arsenal or Liverpool. That's across the league. Sparks and I in particular are slightly older, and I think we sort of remember the days where you sort of looked at it over 10, 15, 20 games rather than over 20 minutes. But
yeah, you never seem to get anything. You can't have any conversation without GA or whatever. It's just a bit of nonsense, really, isn't it? It's just like kind of. Yeah, it's all about scoring points, quite literally, and
I blame
my
fantasy
player's better
football.
than your player and all that nonsense. It's just
that's part of it, and I think Salah and Haaland have kind of fried our brains a little bit as well because they're such machines.
Yeah.
Just the fact they've stat padded so freaking the last few seasons as well. Like we're kind of holding players to the same standard, and that's not entirely fair.
I was just gonna, I think that's spot on. I was just gonna say, look, Kai Havertz obviously not the most clinical finisher in the world. I'm not trying to make the point that he is. He's definitely not, and that's why someone like Gyökeres is brought in. But I was people saying you don't see, Erling Haaland ever miss a chance. Well, you do actually. He missed 2 or 3 the other night, in the Champions League for a start,
Exactly,
and again at the weekend he does miss them. But because, to your point, he is brilliant in front of goal. He is phenomenal in front of goal, and therefore his numbers are so high. That's all people see, but there's more to football than just that. And I'm not having a diss at him or saying Havertz is better than Haaland. He's clearly not. But it distorts people's view. I think you're spot on.
Yes, but yeah, going on to we're just obviously with Haaland because it's while we're here. Do you think that City can maintain a title challenge? And if you do you think if something happens to Haaland, do you think that they'll continue to maintain it, or do you think it's basically him or bust?
Oh, is that to me? Sorry.
Anybody, go for it.
I think it's a really good question. I think right now, they're very reliant on Haaland, and pretty much every goal almost is going through them. Pep's made that sort of comment as well, like other players need to sort of get involved in scoring as well, not just Haaland. He's getting a bit frustrated with that. So it does seem like a bit of a one-man sort of job right now. But I think they did recruit well. I thought that Cherky was a very good player, and he's injured right now, but he started off really strong.
He's come back.
A couple of goals.
Yeah, he's been back last week, I think.
And Marmoush as well.
Yeah. So probably take him a few weeks to get back.
Yeah,
up.
maybe 3 weeks. I mean, and then he's back in the groove or whatever.
Yeah. And then Reinders, I think he's a good signing as well. He started off pretty well. He looks pretty good on the ball as well as an attacking threat. So I think they do have enough attack-wise. The defense, I don't think they quite fully replaced Kyle Walker, and I think that's an issue. They still do leak in silly goals, and ultimately, that's why I put them also second, where I put Arsenal favourites because of that. I think you guys are still more balanced than Man City.
Is there a replacement for Kyle Walker?
They're playing Nico O'Reilly, right?
Yeah. I haven't seen much of him. I'm not sure how he's doing, to be honest.
Nico O'Reilly on that side and Rico Lewis on the other, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And Savinho.
Yeah, Savinho. Yeah, I think just on the Haaland point, every kind of major team, other than that one City season where they kind of had Jesus, has kind of had a talisman figure who's gone on to help them win that league. Whether it was Henry 20 years ago, having Salah last season, a lot does rely on that star player kind of staying fit for the majority of their games. I mean, he has picked up a few niggles here and there, Haaland. If he does get injured, I don't see them sustaining that title challenge. But if he can stay fit, there's no reason why they can't. I mean, they have arguably the greatest manager of all time in Pep there to help steer them through. So let's see with them. What I do find fascinating is the fact they signed Donnarumma, who is a completely non-Pep sort of goalkeeper. in terms of him kind of not playing out from the back, that kind of old school classical keeper who is just a really, really brilliant shot stopper. But kind of
game Trafford.
Yeah, exactly. Have to fall for him because he was set to go to Newcastle, and then the hopes of going to City and being number one completely dashed as soon as Donnarumma became available. Quite bizarre actually.
Yeah, I was a bit mad about that one, but yeah. Do you think it just changes the approach that they're actually gonna play? They're gonna play a bit more direct and a bit more.
I think so. And I think that's a kind of nod to how the league has gone as well in terms of the Premier League being a lot more direct now compared to before.
Even Raya's doing more sweeper keeper type stuff, isn't he?
Yeah.
Apparently we don't attack, but he spent more time in the opposition half than most other opposition players have spent in our half, to be honest. So it's a bit mad. But,
one shot on target in the last 3 games. I know they've there's been ones of course that have gone close and hit the crossbar and stuff, but it's the difficulty, isn't it, playing Arsenal right now is, do you sit in and try and nick something on the break, or do you open up and then get pulled apart? It's difficult. But I mean, on City, I said before the season I felt they were one more year away from. I think they will have a title challenge, but I don't think they will win it. And the reason I said was very similar to what you've just said, Tamron, which is I don't think the defense is quite there, and I think the midfield is missing a player. I don't know what that player is. Something's not quite there, but I think they are going to be significantly better than last season, and I think there will be a challenge, but I think it will fall short. But to your point, Daniel, and I think this is the other side of this, you can't ever rule them out because Haaland is so good. He will get you a goal nearly every game, at least. And of course, Pep Guardiola is one of the best managers in the world, if not the best in the world. And that will always give you a
that's sustainable and set pieces on, right?
That's sustainable. But for me, I don't think City will win the title. I still have Liverpool ahead of them, despite recent form, because I just think I think you need a good defense to win the title. History suggests that if we're out of good defense, you don't win the title 9 times out of 10.
That game in a few weeks' time, it's going to be so interesting. Actually, is it at Anfield? Is it at the Etihad?
I'm not too sure actually, but yeah.
One sec.
I shall check.
I'm looking now. It's at the Etihad.
Okay. Fingers crossed for a draw, lads. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I've got fingers crossed for every single one to be a draw.
No, fingers crossed they both play an ineligible player and get docked 3 points.
I want them both to lose.
Injuries, right? Injuries.
I don't have a charge. What's all right?
No, you just have both teams to lose. That's all we need. Yeah, absolutely. Just go, yeah. Stuff for the points. But yeah, okay, we got a new segment.
Graphics and everything.
Is your bum warm?
Well, I've been sat in the chair for over an hour, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So who's in the biggest guy in the biggest hot seat this week, do you think?
Sean Dyche. Have you seen that, Chairman?
I mean, it's fair, but yeah.
Has anyone seen Ange after what's happened? Check up on Ange.
The thing is, you say that, right? He when they did that Morgan Gibbs White kind of interview thing where it looked like he was being held hostage, and he looked like somebody's got a gun up his back or something like that. It's like you kind of got a point with that, haven't you? So, yeah. Anyone seen Ange? I'm not saying Ange out, but that's going a bit too far.
Do you see the picture of him leaving the City Stadium? Massive smile on his face as he was driving out.
Never looked happier.
Yeah, I mean,
Man is look like he's pocketing a lot of money, right?
yeah, but I mean, it was destined to fail. That surely. I mean,
It was never going to work.
Nobody's going to say that's going to work. You've got a completely different side to what Nuno played, and you're going to come in and you're going to try and start what. So you're going from who we are, mate, to
It's not
it's
who
not
we
who
are.
we are.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, in all seriousness, though, shall I give it? I've got a proper answer to this one. Does this have to be a manager, or can it be any player?
It could be anybody in football. Anybody in football.
Right. So I think as a manager, I wonder about Nuno at West Ham, because I actually think that's the right appointment. I think that's a really good appointment for West Ham. But West Ham fans right now are febrile, and they can't buy a goal. They still can't defend, and they are in desperate need of a win. And I just wonder how long until it turns. Now, I don't think it should. If I'm a West Ham fan right now, I think my best chance of staying up is Nuno. And I think he can turn it around. And I think he's proven repeatedly how good a manager he is. Forget the Spurs thing. That was daft, right? That was like Ange at Forest. I think he is under significant pressure because of the fan reaction to him right now, rather than because he should be under pressure. So I think he is, in all seriousness, the sort of the man under most pressure this weekend. Slot will be as well, of course, and that's not me just because he has to prove that Frankfurt wasn't a fluke.
They play Leeds tomorrow as well, so if they don't pick up a win against Leeds, that could turn very quickly, couldn't it?
I think so, yeah. And then they've got Newcastle after that, at home, and you'd expect him to lose that to Eddie Howe.
They're absolutely losing that, and especially when Newcastle have got points to make up as well, so that they've got
they're only 14th.
Yeah, they're gonna have a bee in the bonnet, and they might tear West Ham a new one completely.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, Slot's under pressure because of recent results, but I think that I think that's just a form thing. But the fans, generally speaking, I think, Tamin, are that you see from the idiots going, Slot out, this is terrible. He can win the quadruple, and I still don't want him because he lost to Manchester United. I heard one Liverpool fan say that, forget that. I don't think
random nonsense.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Having calm down, man.
You've seen him on stream before, haven't you?
I don't think that's reflective of Liverpool fans, right? But the results-wise, Slot is under pressure there. But it's a dip in form, as we all agreed earlier. But West Ham fans are just in a really bad place, and I think that's why I've got him under so much pressure at West Ham.
It's a good shout, Yeah, I agree with that.
You agree, Daniel?
Yeah,
I'm kind of down with that.
Agree.
So, yeah. On to the next. Most valuable player.
I feel like it's an obvious one to say, but Haaland. I mean, it's just the goals, the impact he's having. Yeah, again, it's an obvious shout, just like it's obvious to have him in your fantasy football team. But yeah, that's one that straight away springs to my mind.
If you can have a triple captain every week, you're giving it to him, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
So, it is a bit of a no-brainer, certainly this week. And he's maintaining the thing. He scored in the Champions League game as well, didn't he?
Yeah. He did, yeah.
So we've battered out.
I've got a rogue shout for you.
Go on,
and I think this side is doing really well at the moment. It's surpassing all expectations under David Moyes. And I think a lot of that is down to how Jack Grealish is playing at Everton right now. He looks reinvigorated, looks a new player. I think he, to that side, is so integral to that side. Don't get me wrong, he's not the only player in that side. Jordan Pickford, of course, their striker. Thank you. But I think Jack Grealish is really elevating that team, and I think he is crucial for them. And it's really interesting to see how he's gonna go. I mean, I'm just trying to find Everton's fixtures this weekend. They're at home to Tottenham. Yeah, exactly. I think he could be a real difference maker there.
Yeah, I think he can turn that around as well. I reckon they can win that.
Yes.
Frank has he started off really well, didn't he? And then he's starting to get some grumbles as well. So he's in a bit of a
I think it's a really good appointment, Thomas Frank,
Yeah.
by the way, at Spurs. I
It's
I
clever,
think
yeah.
he'll stabilise it. He's going to build some stability at the back, get them back more defensively sorted, and I think he's almost going to do it sort of Mikel Arteta style and try and build from the back front and build the team over a few years, and that's what Tottenham need to do.
Where do you see Tottenham finishing this year?
Well, they're not going to win anything because it's not his second season. But I had them 6th.
Yeah, I think 6th or 7th as well.
Who have you got finishing 5th then?
I've always said United, so I'm going to stick by that.
I'm going Newcastle.
You're saying Newcastle have finished 5th? Okay. Well, even though they've had the start that they've had.
Yeah, I know they've had a poor start. I don't know their team when they're on form, when Eddie Howe gets it right, they've been on these runs where 10, 15 games sort of. I think they did that last season. They were pretty sort of low down. I think they were 10th, and then they pushed it back up.
They're only 6 points off 3rd.
Yeah,
not far off. Yeah,
but
I think their performances haven't.
Yeah,
really...
but a lot of people, a lot of teams are only 6 points off 3rd. We're only 8 games in, so obviously that ratio's gaps haven't opened up yet.
The point being that Newcastle are good enough side to make that up, I think is But I didn't have them as 5th. I had someone else.
If they stay fit, I think they've got a solid team. Their midfield 3, the depth in the wings. I think if they're relatively injury free, I sort of have good sort of faith in Newcastle.
Yeah,
I think we're having a bit of over reliance on Voldemort now as well. Like what we're saying about Haaland and City, I think a bit of a situation's happening there with Voldemort.
Yeah, that could definitely happen, couldn't it?
Yeah, so
that will really scupper them.
Yeah, so I actually had Newcastle 8th because I think Europe's going to impact them as well. I had Tottenham and United 6th and 7th because United don't have Europe. I think there's major issues at United. I think it's going to take a lot to still fix there, but they don't have Europe, and that's why I had them so high. I actually had Brighton and Hove Albion finishing 5th.
Wow, what a rogue shout!
That is a rogue shout.
I just have a feeling that some side like them or Palace there's no Europe for Brighton, which is why I don't think it'll be Palace, and that's why I had Brighton. I think they've got immense squad depth. I think they tactically know what they're doing. They have a real identity about them. They have a decent but not amazing back 4, but they can score goals. They cause problems. They can keep the ball well. And no Europe. I just think Brighton I wouldn't put money on it, but I had them finishing 5th because I don't think Tottenham have got the squad depth. I don't think United have issues. I don't think Newcastle are quite good enough. Palace have Europe. I don't think Bournemouth have the depth to keep going. Brighton do have the depth to sustain that, given that they are roughly playing once a week with the odd game in the midweek, and that's why I had Brighton 5th. It's just in case I'm right at the end of the season.
I don't see it. I really don't see it. I think Chelsea, Tottenham, and United are kind of back in the European hierarchy, and Villa miss out. Well,
Villa will miss out.
Stay where they are.
Definitely miss out. Dom, this weekend's fixtures with United and Brighton will be really telling, actually, with regards to our predictions. It's kind of got draw written all over it, to be fair, but
but if it's a draw, Chelsea anything, does it? Because they're right on top of each other anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I think Chelsea will finish 4th. I've no doubt about
that. They have no excuse not to. The amount of money they've spent and the talent they have, like, crucially, to forget the money, but the talent that they have.
They've got the best player in every position, haven't they? So I don't know why they're not winning a title, to be honest with you. But to listen to them, it's like we got the best left back, we've got the best right back. If we had everybody fit, we kind of hear all the time, and it's like, when we said anything about injuries, it was like the worst thing. We're not allowed to use that, unless but your caveat FC. It's just like madness, really. You're like, well, everybody says 2 billion. Well, yeah, but don't everybody say Arteta spent $1 billion in
Yes,
6 years?
They
It's
use
not.
euros and dollars rather than pounds, by the way, for the billion number.
Well, it's not even euros, is it? It hasn't even made it hasn't even spent €1 billion. So it's nonsense anyway. But over a 6-year period, you know, for a club like Arsenal, similarly with Liverpool and Man United, that's actually not a lot of money.
No.
It's a lot of money to give one manager, but we kind of had to revamp the whole thing. And it's, again, like Liverpool had to do, and they literally had to clear out and start again.
Yeah. And Liverpool did it incredibly well. And you've got to give them real credit for the way they sold as well, because that was genuinely very impressive how Liverpool have sold over the years.
It's amazing how that net spender is still spending the Coutinho money, isn't it?
But in all seriousness, they did take a risk with that sort of sale, right? But they also got over 20 million for players like Jordan Ibe. Anyone remember him?
Yeah.
Solanke, they got 20 million for Solanke at one point when he was just a youth player.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Elliot, Kwanzaa. Although we could do a player like Kwanzaa in our
that was an odd sale given you didn't replace him. You know, we were talking earlier. I just felt if you'd got a centre back and a CDM instead of Isak, and I said this before you got Isak, then I'm more worried than I am now.
Yeah. I was saying to Daniel as well, like just before the transfer window ended, I was sort of saying, I had that dilemma. Do you remember? I was thinking, do we even need Isak? But then at the same time, can you turn down a player like Isak? You know, does it upset the squad balance or not? Yeah.
I just got to win your sexy window versus our pragmatic one. Huh?
Yeah, I definitely think it has affected the squad. I really do. I think the Vietz one has affected McAllister, but also I actually think that the drop off of Salah has affected McAllister as well, because obviously he was chipping in from that side, and all right, he's had a better last couple of games, but when he has come on, but yeah, him being off form, he's clearly not with it for whatever reason, and I think McAllister is suffering because of it. Really,
I think it's quite understated. Kind of the loss of Diaz, obviously Jota, but Nunez as well.
Yeah,
3 players who did a lot of pressing, and just caused a lot of chaos for defenses. Has been taken out from that side as well. So I think that's been quite understated.
Yeah, I think with what happened with Jota, RIP, and all that, I think as soon as that happened, they should have just paid Diaz what he wanted.
Yeah,
they literally should have paid Diaz, and Gakpo is all right there, but he doesn't do the same as Diaz.
I mean, can you turn down 80 million those sparks for? How old is Diaz?
They put him on the list because they wouldn't pay him the money. So they presumably you don't have the offer, do you? Because you've not even put it in the ether that is going anywhere. So
he wasn't pushing to go, was he?
He was pushing for the pay increase.
Yeah, he wants
but as soon as they didn't offer it, they said, right, because he's 28.
He's 28 now, yeah.
So he was obviously going, well, I can get good money elsewhere. If you're not going to pay me what I'm worth, then I want out then.
Yeah.
And he obviously thought from that stage that he's going to get paid what he's worth. And didn't happen, did it? So that's what happens, isn't it? If you don't pay the money. But they've obviously paid big money on the extensions of VVD and Salah, and basically brought in other players to kind of fill the voids. You could have stopped at Ekatike, couldn't you? Quite comfortably stopped at Ekatike. And even from our point of view, I was saying I'd love Isak, but he's injury prone, proven again
already.
And I'd much rather spend that money on 2 players rather than 1.
Yeah,
arguably 3.
Well, Yeah. But if you equate the value to Gyökeres and to Zubimendi, the two probably missing links, I guess, if you wanted to call it that. It replaced his position as in the striker, and it gave us the conductor that we needed to replace Partey as well. So
And when you're factoring wages with money to spare,
75 grand he's on.
yeah, I know,
Wow.
unbelievable.
It's just insanity. So
Still,
yeah,
absolute still.
yeah. So I mean, it's not going to be long before he's upgraded because that we do that. We reward deserving. Which I'm not saying Liverpool don't, but I do think that they do, and I don't think that the wage sheets that they put out are actually correct. I think with most teams that you can kind of rely on them as gospel. I think with Liverpool, I think they maybe structure it in a different way, so that everything's kind of bonus related.
Yeah.
So they actually could get really good bonuses, and the wages are a little bit more conservative.
Yeah.
So there we go. Let's do a quick run through on some score predictions before we go. Then I know you guys got to get off anyway. So let's fly through these. Leeds United, West Ham.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
Oh, I was going to go 1-1.
No.
Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna go 3-1 Leeds.
Wow.
I don't think West Ham are very good. I think 3-1 Leeds. Yeah. I know you've got to go, otherwise I go dig really deep into that one.
Friday night under the lights, though. You could be right. Friday night under the lights.
Yeah.
I predicted the 3-3 the Bournemouth game last week.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't put any money on it. So I was like, oh,
you weren't the only one wishing Mateta had scored the last one then.
No, I didn't watch the game. I was like, yeah, I just had a feeling that had goals all over it, and I was right.
I am worried about Mateta for this weekend.
I didn't have the goal scorers anyway, so it's that's my only upside. Chelsea Sunderland is the first 3 o'clock game.
Chelsea at home.
Yeah.
Yes.
2-0 Chelsea.
I was going to say 2-0 Chelsea, yeah.
3-1 Chelsea.
2-2.
Oh.
I could hope.
Sunderland continuing their good form in your book.
I think Sunderland on decent form. I do think Sunderland on decent form, so I think that's that might continue.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed as well, yeah. But I mean, I'm not just saying that with my heart. That's what I actually think. Newcastle United against Fulham. We played last week.
3-2 Newcastle.
Ooh, I'm going to go 2-2. Another draw.
Neither side in great form, but I think Newcastle will take this one 2-0.
Yeah, I'd say 2-0 as well. I think they might have some energy left after last week because they didn't have to run up the field. Man United, Brighton.
2-1.
Oh, you're going for Brighton? You're now. I see what you're doing. You're just after revenge. That's all that is.
I think it would piss me off if United lose this one.
I persuaded him with my excellent argument as to why Brighton will finish 5th in my hot take.
No, he's just mad that they lost to him last time.
I think it would anger me more if I think they played Sunderland, right, the week after we played them. And if they had lost to Sunderland after what they did to us, that would have pissed me off more. Yeah. But I think, the revenge thing, no. I don't know. No.
They could do 3 on the bounce, though, for the first time in God knows how long.
That guy's getting closer to getting a haircut.
Yeah.
I think he should have had an honorary haircut anyway for beating Liverpool, to be honest.
For sure. For sure. I'm I'm gonna go 2-2.
I'm going to go 3-1 away win. I think United will return a little bit to form.
One could hope.
Okay, I'm going 2-2 as well. I think it's got Desmond written all over that one. Go on then. We're not going to start with Tamim. We're going to go around everybody else, and then Tamim can go last. So Brentford, Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, 2-1 Liverpool.
I'm going to do a heart and head one. So my heart says 2-2. My head says 2-0 Liverpool.
Right. 3-1 Liverpool.
Okay.
We concede first.
I do think Liverpool.
Okay, yeah, concede first and smash 3. Okay,
And then
yeah, I mean,
3 set pieces, right?
yeah, 3 set pieces, yeah. 4
Van
set
Dijk
pieces.
double, Konate, 90th minute.
Yeah, 4 set pieces. Concede from a set piece, and
And
3
VAR overturning a disallowed goal for Liverpool.
Yeah,
I do genuinely think this will be the return to. I said for a while I think Liverpool will be back, and I think this will be a Liverpool win. Like in all seriousness.
yeah. I think so as well. I think that there's going to be some kind of regression back to what they started the season with, rather than this experimental switch round stuff. I think it's going to be a kind of revert to the norm, and the results are more important than the ego.
And there's also, I think Keith Andrews done a good job after replacing Thomas Frank. It's not easy to replace a massive manager that's just left, and Thomas Frank for Brentford was that. I think he's done a really good job, but I don't think Brentford are that great either.
I agree with that. I think they're on the verge of being okay, but I think that they're a middling to bottoming side rather than where they were middling to top side.
Yeah, and that's no reflection on Keith Andrews. By the way.
I don't think it's anything to do with him. It's they've lost a lot of key players for no real apparent reason.
A few million, but yeah.
Yeah, well, he's if it's about money, then yeah, fair enough. But they're, surely staying up and everything like that is worth more to them.
I suspect the players wanted to go, and that's why they went, right?
Yeah, maybe. Right, we're going to go the other way around with this one. Tamim's going to go first. Arsenal Palace.
8-0 to Palace. No, yeah, one can only hope. I would go. Who's home, by the way?
Arsenal.
Okay. I think you guys win that 2-1. Yeah, 2-1 to Arsenal.
Daniel.
2-1 Arsenal. I agree.
I think it'll be 2-1 Arsenal. I think Arsenal will concede. We haven't conceded in a while. I'm worried about Mateta, but I think Arsenal will be strong enough to win this game.
Yeah, I think 3-1 because it's my go-to with Palace. It's generally what I do. Villa, Man City.
Villa are at home as well.
Villa at home, yeah.
3-1 City. I think Unai gets slapped.
Gets got.
Unai gets got.
I have a funny feeling Villa might just sneak a point here. I'm going to go 1-1. City should win it, but I just have a feeling that Villa might just sneak a point.
And they have turned a bit of a corner, Villa, recently.
They have, yeah.
Yeah, they have, yeah. Apart from, did you see their results today?
Oh, no, I haven't actually.
They lost 2-1 to the go-ahead Eagles and missed a penalty.
Typical Unai.
Yeah.
I've just seen Rangers lost 3-0 to Bran.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Rangers have lost as well. And Villa. So yeah, it's not been a very good day for them. But yeah. What are you saying to me?
3-0 to City.
Oh wow!
I think 2-2.
Palace have just lost, by the way, at home to AEK Lanaka, whoever they are.
Well, are they in Conference League?
No Conference League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Conference League,
Yeah.
and they went full strength as well. Palace.
Oh,
That's good for us.
Mm.
The next day's
That's
resting.
very
Good
good
as well.
for us, in fact.
Yeah.
Did they play the full game? As in,
Uh,
no subs off?
Most of them. The only player that didn't start that you'd expect to start was Adam Wharton. He was on the bench, but Mateta played the 90, Sarr 87, Pino 71. Back four pretty much played every minute apart from Cavot, who
Was
was
Wharton injured then? Why wouldn't you start Wharton?
I can only think for resting for ahead of the weekend.
Arsenal.
The back five played every minute apart from Canvot, who was subbed on the hour for Gunketia.
And Wharton didn't come on.
Wharton came on the 71st minute for Pino.
Yeah, that kind of screams rotation to me.
Yeah, gotta be. But you'd think you'd want to win it, wouldn't you? But there you go.
Otherwise, but they started full strength and a lot of them played most of the game. So
Nice. Okay. Well, that can only be good because obviously it's 2 days closer to the fixture as well. Bournemouth Forest.
2-0
3-0 Bournemouth. Oh, God have him.
Sorry, 2-0 Bournemouth.
Yeah, I said 3-0.
3-0.
I'm going with Sean Dyche bounce. I'm going 2-1 Forest.
Wow. Really,
Big Sean.
Are you okay?
No,
Surely not.
Bournemouth on great form, right? Brilliant.
He's not going to get any bloody philosophy in.
It's the same as
Names,
Nuno,
though,
isn't it? They go back to Nuno. I think Big Sean will come in and do his growly for it. No, Bournemouth should win this game. No question. It doesn't shock me in the slightest if you guys are right on this one. But it's a pure gut feeling that Forest will just randomly win this game. They shouldn't, but I just think they will.
I've got 4-0 Bournemouth.
I was speaking to a Forest fan at work today, and he also thinks that while Forest have been awful, he also thinks they're going to randomly beat Bournemouth and then get spanked in their following game.
I'm questioning my life choices.
I mean, you guys should be right. You should be right. If I was putting money on, I would put Bournemouth to beat Forest. Just a pure gut feel that Forest are randomly going to win this one at the weekend.
I hope you're right.
I can't explain it. There's no logic behind that at all. It's just a pure gut feel that I can't shake.
I really actually want you to be right, Dom.
I mean, the others are all sort of head stuff. This one is just a pure. There's no logic behind that, but I just feel Forest are winning it. I don't know why.
I can understand the draw going on, but I didn't. Yeah. Okay. Wild. Okay. It's normally me with the out there takes.
Wilder or less wild than Brighton finishing fifth.
See, I can see Brighton finishing fifth to a point. It'd take a lot of luck to do it.
It would, yeah. Everything would have to go right.
And they haven't had a ridiculous start, but competition for those kind of positions is limited because obviously two teams that would be in there normally are heavily in Europe. Palace in Europe as well, although we don't know how long for.
And don't have the depth.
And anybody else that would be up there.
There's issues with them all, right?
There's issues with all of them. I actually think that Everton could make a push for a top 8. Not for a top 5, but a top 8.
Top 10 potentially, yeah.
I think they could get top. I'd be shocked if they didn't get top 10. I mean, they might finish 11th, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they had a bad season last year, and they lost points the year before, but I think they've got consolidated a little bit.
And David Moyes is a good manager for that level, you know.
I'm sure West Ham fans would agree and are regretting their life choices as well.
I really don't understand the West Ham fans. I don't get it. I don't get it. He wins a European trophy, and then all of a sudden he thinks, "What? Do you know what that stinks of? It stinks of Tottenham." Do you know what I mean? It's like a self-implosion. for no reason whatsoever.
For no reason, yeah.
It's like you didn't need to do it.
It's ideology, isn't it?
Well,
It's
like,
simple ideology, and it's like you're not that good that you can just go on ideology.
But Moyes has just done a really good job, and all right, he maybe played stinky football and done whatever, but
Got your results. Got your trophy.
results, and
They were champions of Europe.
And it's not as if he did what it's who we are, mate. Did you know? And
finishing
we got them
17th.
relegated doing it.
Yeah.
They were
Well,
comfortable
he
in the
actually
league
did
doing
nearly
it,
get
so.
relegated, but
Yeah,
to be fair, they had a late push away from it. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But also, West Ham didn't have the talent in the side that Tottenham did. You
No,
wouldn't expect
definitely
Tottenham to
not.
be 17th. West Ham, if you said with that squad they finished 17th and won the Europa Conference League, you can see that. I mean, I think they finished 15th. Did they something like that this season? But Tottenham should be nowhere near 17th. I'm sorry.
It wasn't 15th, was it? Because Man United finished.
22 losses.
No.
It's just disgraceful.
Yeah. I mean, I had someone say that, Tottenham's rise this season shows why you don't need to build sides slowly. I'm like, they shouldn't have been 17th in the first place. Like,
They've got 3 wins at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since the start of last season, they've got 3 wins at home.
Wow. That's terrible.
It's absolute insanity. A team like that shouldn't be there for a start.
Taylor Swift has more wins than that at Spurs Stadium, doesn't she?
I mean, yeah. Don't know about that, but the highlight of Sunday,
Wolves Burnley.
Wolves Burnley.
0-0. I'll return to planet Earth.
I'm going 0-0 as well.
I'm going to go Burnley win.
This is how on the edge it is. We're just a 1-0 win.
1-0 win, yeah. Let's go for 1-0.
Yeah, I'm going.
Wolves haven't won a game yet this season.
Who?
Wolves haven't won a game yet this season.
No, I know, but I think this is the game. Just because they're at home.
Maybe.
If I had to put money on a winner, I'd have Wolves to win this one. But I think 0-0.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be 4-4 or something daft now, don't you? It's completely insane.
And it'll be like the lowest viewed game of all time or something.
Yeah, that can't be the lowest viewed game, can it? Because it's Everton and Tottenham are playing, aren't they? That can't have a box office viewing, can it?
They got a nice stadium now, Everton. Nicer than Liverpool's.
Yeah, they got some nice blue flares, which we're not allowed to have flares in a stadium, but they can have them apparently.
Oh, they're just pretending they're the Beatles. Oh, I see what you mean, flares.
Oh God, Stan.
Oh,
it's been a long day. Go on then. Score prediction then. Everton, Tottenham.
Go on, Tannen.
I'm actually going to go... I'm going 1-0 Everton. I'm going to put my hatred aside for Everton.
Who's home? Everton.
Everton at the bizarre...
Yes,
I can't even remember what
Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Oh, it's the crappiest stadium name I've ever heard.
It is the crappiest name.
Honestly.
2-1 Everton. Ilman Ndiaye and Jack Grealish.
Okay, you need to go to the bookies with that. If you're allowed to bet, that is. And please gamble responsibly. Not that anybody watches this, but just in case. Yeah, I'm going for Everton.
Ofcom coming for you.
Hey?
Ofcom will come for you otherwise.
Well, I don't know. Nobody sees my videos, But it's,
we'll get the Haram Christmas timing right.
the whole 40 people that watch my videos. Yeah. I'm going for 2-1 as well.
I'm going 1-1.
Yeah, they'll be on the same points as Tottenham if they win.
Got that. Come on, Everton.
Oh yeah, it'd be quite funny.
I mean, Everton, at least for your point of view, Tam, they're not going to be close to you, right? So you don't need to worry about them.
Yeah.
I mean, but no, like, let's be real about it. It's...
At one point, I thought they did. About 20 years ago, when they made the Champions League spot.
Yeah,
I think it was like 2005 or something. Yeah.
Was that
Yeah, something
the,
like
the season that you pushed them out of it?
Yeah.
Because they won.
So
They
they
won it.
basically you won the Champions League, so
Yeah.
they get the
Yeah.
Champions League spot. You won the Champions League, and he just went, "See ya."
peak trolling, that isn't it? Really.
that is like
pretty
next level.
solid trolling.
Like literally is next level crap.
There it is.
So
Yeah.
you just like seriously.
Felt a little bit bad for him.
Yeah.
Only a little bit.
Nah, you didn't. Oh dear, well, it's been a good show. Thank you very much for coming
Yeah.
on.
Sparks, Dom, thanks for having me. I've enjoyed this chat, so thanks for having me.
It was great to meet you both, and Sparks,
Yeah,
as
nice
always, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Likewise, Sparks. Thanks for having us on, man.
Yeah, welcome anytime. You know that. But yeah, get in the group chat as well if you want to. We've got Festus Optimus Maximus. It's a bit of an essay.
Great
Oscar
name.
Bananas game, but we have Eze who made them twice. As good as Eze in it. Plus Eze knows Glasner's tactics. Huge help for Eze. Well, every little helps, and they've played Europe tonight. Well, lost, so you know. Hopefully that's kind of keeps it all in our favour, and it can only help that little bit, can't it?
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Right. Yeah. So, guys, please make sure you're dropping the likes, hitting the subscribes on both channels. It's been streamed on Daniel's channel as well. So yeah, make sure you're liking and subscribing on both channels. If you're watching on the Twitter, please make sure you come through onto the YouTube and like the video, share it if you can, and we appreciate everything. But yeah, in the meantime, this is Prem Focus. I've been Sparks. We'll see you next time.